Okay, in this video I'm going to do my other graph transformation, again putting everything together. And in this video I'm going to graph y equals square root of 2x minus 2, all of that under the square root, minus 3. Okay, so again in this one I kind of want to start off, actually the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite this. I'm going to rewrite this as the square root of 2 times x minus 1 minus 3. Okay, and the reason why I do this is I see in parentheses an x minus 1. That's going to correspond to my horizontal shift, not the minus 2. So this one's going to be a little tricky. You have to be a little careful here, which is why I'm doing this example, to point this out. So the first thing again I'm going to do is kind of start off with my basic graph. And the basic thing I see here would be square root of x. And if you'll remember, square root of x looks something roughly like that. Maybe we can plot a couple points again. If you plug 1 in, you get 1 out. If you plug 4 in, you get 2 out. And maybe I'll extend my graph a little bit. I'm actually going to go all the way over to 16 just to make my numbers work out nicely here in a second. And if you plug 16 into the square root function, you get 4 out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to graph the 2x, the square root of 2 times x. Okay, and remember, if you multiply the inside, by a number larger than 1, let's see if I can scroll this down a little bit. If you multiply the inside by a number larger than 1, remember it compresses it. So this graph is actually going to get compressed by a factor of 2. So that means I take all the x coordinates. Instead of being at 1, it'll be at 1/2. Instead of being at 4, it'll be at 2. Instead of being at 16, it'll be at 4. Okay, so maybe not quite to scale, but the idea is when you have the x coordinates, the y coordinates stay the same. Okay, so originally at 1, I was at a height of 1. That means at 1/2, I'm now going to be at a height of 1 unit. Originally at 4, I was at a height of 2 units. Now at 2, I'm going to be at a height of 2 units. I think I did my math wrong here, right? How about we divide 16 over 2 and get 8? Sorry out there in internet land, it's early when I'm making this video, so not going yet here. Okay, so let's try this again. If you take 16 and divide it by 2, hey, you'll get 8. And so that means if we plug 8 into our function, we're going to get the height of 4 out. So there's the point 8 comma 4. Okay. And again, you can check if you plug 8 in, for example, 8 times 2 is 16, the square root of 16 is 4. If this is my function f of x, notice if you replace the x in parentheses with x minus 1, we would get the square root of 2x minus 1. So that's what I'm now going to graph next. Okay, so remember the idea. If my function was square root of 2x, if I replace all of my x's with x minus 1's, so then my function would look like this, which is, hey, what I need. This is going to have the effect of shifting the graph to the right 1 unit. So let's see if we can't do all that here. So again, I'm just taking this bottom graph and I'm going to shift it to the right 1 unit. Okay, so now we're going to graph y equals the square root of 2x, 2 times the quantity x minus 1. Okay, so when I go to do this, again, just move everything to the right. So instead of being at 0, 0, it's going to be at 1, 0. Instead of being at 2, 2, it'll now be up here at 3, 2. Instead of being at 8, 4, it'll now be at 9, 4. Okay, so we'll play again, kind of connect the dots, keeping it sort of curvy here. Okay, so again, not the best graph, but hopefully you'll forgive my artistry. And notice if you plug 9 in, you get 9 minus 1, which is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Again, square root of 16 is going to put us up here at a height of 4 units. Alright, again, so this is the graph of 2 times the square root of x minus 1. Last but not least, we have to do the minus 3. So what does the minus 3 do to our graph? It's going to basically shift it all down 3 units. So instead of being at 1, 0, if I take that y coordinate and move it down, it'll now be down here at negative 3. Let's see, maybe I'll just take one other point here. Well, I guess let's do them all. So we said originally if you plug 3 in, remember up here you'll get 3 minus 1, which is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So this is 3, 2. Again, if I move that point down 3 units, it's now going to be sitting at 3, negative 1. So here's the point, 3, negative 1. Originally it was at 9, 4. So again, if I move that y coordinate down 3 units, it'll be at 9, 1. Okay, and my graph's really going to look rough this time, I can already tell. Okay, so it looks pretty cruddy, so I apologize. It's supposed to look exactly like the original graph. Again, just everything moved down 1 unit. So I hope the idea is clear. I hope my artistry is not at all the hang up here. So again, I hope these couple examples make some sense and help. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Again, I've got the absolute value graph problem, should be close by. So take a look at that one if this stuff is still a little crazy to you. All right, good luck out there.